21 races is Kevin Love with a speed of 107.015 miles an hour, nearly a mile an hour faster than second place Jeff Meendering, 106.032 miles an hour his speed. Defending champion of this series, Mike Herman Jr. starts third, heading up row 2. Chad Mullis, with 6 wins in 1999, will start fourth. Row 3 has Davin Seitz. He has a win this year. Ricky Hendrick makes his 5th appearance at Concord this season. He has 2 wins already in those 4 appearances. Row 4 has Brad Kurth in the 94 and Greg Peterson in the 14. Rookie Andrew Medlin carrying the Aneco Electrical Construction sponsorship on his machine, and interestingly enough, his father is the president and CEO of that company. Jonathan Bellamy making his first appearance at Concord. He's from Myrtle Beach. He will start 10th. Greg Pope and J.P. Morgan start in row 6. Chuck Crump, the rookie and former mini-stock champion, starts 13th. Another rookie, Sean Mangum, starts in 14th. Row 8 has Jeff Harwell in the 17th. And rookie Elaine Hughes, who leads the Legends Series here at Concord. She'll start in the 16th spot. Row 9 has Rob Carroll in the 77 and Terry Blackford in the 27. John Thornton starts 19th. Jay Robinson had qualified second, but a carburetor problem caused him to have his qualifying run thrown out. He will start 20th. Shane Bradford has a win in 1999, but he will bring up the rear because his qualifying time was disallowed as well. A tire problem was the cause of his woes tonight, and he will start shotgun on the field as we get set to take the green flag. Steve, what about the points here?
Well, Woody, you mentioned Kevin Love's numbers. He's been on the pole 15 times, won 6 times here at Concord. He's in the lead by 34 points over Chad Mullis. Chad Mullis also has won 6 times here at Concord, followed by Shane Bradford with 1 win. Then David Seitz, we saw Davin Seitz win out here about a month ago, all the way from West Virginia, followed by Clayton Rogers. Woody, you mentioned Clayton's not here. Clayton has won 4 times, currently 5th in the points, so he'll take a setback there. Brad Kurth, currently 6th, will catch Clayton Rogers tonight.
He's only 12 points behind, and this has got to be, Steve Post, one of the strongest fields in the late model stock division this season. Even though there's only 21 cars, there is some quality here.
Well, exactly. You have 2 guys with 6 wins and then 3 other winners here. All the top 5 have won races this year, so you know the competition is hot and heavy here as they get set to take the green.
And then Mike Herman Jr., the defending champion of the series, he was only good enough to start 3rd. That shows you what kind of a field we've got tonight. Look at Jeff Meendering.
Again, he has the momentum there on the outside. Meendering takes...
Caution's back out. Excuse me.
It may be a bad start. Meendering may have gotten a little bit too good of a jump.
That explains it there. Sometimes there's a reason for these things.
He's got Boston Realty on the back of that car, Steve, and I saw your pal Danny Bost a little bit earlier. It looks like Danny is on that Slim Fast program again or something.
Hey.
You've been picking on him about his weight for 3 years, but Danny was styling tonight out here.
Well, Danny's always a good sport. I'm surprised he wasn't throwing rocks at me when we walked down through the garage area.
Well, that's only because he didn't see you.
Well, good.
Oh, my goodness. So it's going to be a full field do-over, kind of like when you were kids in your backyard and somebody did something wrong in football. You had a do-over. That's what we're about to have here. Kevin Love on the point, 15th time this season. He also has that Aneco Electrical Construction sponsorship on the hood. And Steve, we had a chance to meet Bruce Medlin, who's Andrew's father and the CEO of Aneco earlier, and he was quite a sport.
He's a class act. Bruce came up and done our Let's Talk Racing show this past Wednesday night. Of course, he had Kevin Love, the number 6 driver, right there. He also had his son Andrew in the 12 car, and what a young lad he is. And he's got his head screwed on straight. He's going places. He's studying the mechanical engineering program over at UNCC, so he's serious about this race and wants to go places, and just a rookie out here at Concord doing a great job.
Boy, the thing that's impressive when you tell that story about it is you've got a situation where a father and son are doing this together. You love to see that. That's what short track racing is about. You've got a father and son working on this racing program together, coming and doing the TV shows together, doing the whole thing together. That's really great to see.
Sure is.
And Aneco brought a busload of people over here, so all of them are sticking
I
together.
got caught in that busload coming in the front gate. I know what you're talking about. I thought, boy, that's fabulous. I think that's great they do that.
Clean restart this time, but one car is off the pace. The 63, Greg Pope, got tangled up back in traffic. The car is still not up to speed, and everybody is getting by him in the back of the pack. Meanwhile, Meendering tries to work to the outside of Kevin Love as we complete lap 1. And still way off the pace, coming off the last turn is Greg Pope. The leaders are going to come up on him very shortly.
Caution. He's come to a standstill over in turn 4. Caution is out. Now he's going. What he done was got the caution to come out so he wouldn't lose a lap. Now he'll catch up to the field, and no harm, no foul.
There you go.
And in this division, the caution laps do count. So Greg Pope, I don't know what happened, but as he sailed off into turn 1, either he got tangled up with somebody or something didn't cooperate with him in the motor, but he really was the meat in the sandwich as people were going by him right and left, and it was very nearly a big wreck.
I'd hate to be in his shoes sitting up there on turn 4 at a standstill, and then the car's bearing down on you about 118, 120 miles an hour, 20 strong. That would have been a situation.
He didn't come down pit road, and yet he's not really going fast like he's trying to catch up and get track position to go down pit road either. So, well, there he goes now. Okay, now he's working to the inside of some of the cars at the back like he might pit this time, but it didn't seem like he was in a big hurry. Now he's making up some of that time. He looks like he's going to come down the pits this time.
Light is off atop the pace car. You heard us, Steve mentioned earlier, a guy named Ned Haney who raced out here for years and years, and Steve Gann always said that was one of Ned's favorite tricks. Whenever he needed a caution, he'd just kind of slow down and pull over. When it came out, he'd pull on back around the track, and no harm, no foul.
In my job, I get to travel around, and I've seen that happen all the time. As we see the pit stop taking place down there.
Looks like it may be a tire problem for Greg Pope.
It looks like a right front tire has gone flat, and it could be costly because he's going to lose a lap. These guys will get the green flag. They're getting the green flag now as we speak, so he will go a lap down, if not 2.
Tough break for Greg now.
Single file racing pretty much all the way around the half-mile trioval here at Concord. Kevin Love on top, Jeff Meendering second. Now Greg Pope leaves the pits, but he did lose a lap.
Not sure if that caution, when we went to the caution, the battle at the front, Meendering was on the outside of Kevin Love. That gave him a single file. Not sure if that was good news or bad news for him because he couldn't really get down on the bottom either. There you see a great battle with Mike Herman and Ricky Hendrick side by side.
And those two cars right there know how to win here at Concord. We've seen Mike unbeatable for a couple years here at Concord. Ricky Hendrick seems like he's always a threat every time he comes to Concord. He run the whole season last year. He's moved on to the Busch Series this year. Davin Sykes, we mentioned earlier, he has won here at Concord this year. And he pulls the car all the way from West Virginia, so you know he's serious. There's some smoke out of the...
I think that was tire smoke.
Boy, caught everyone's attention behind him, that's for sure. See Davin Sykes, he checked up, and now a couple of them got underneath him, the 14 of Greg Peterson and the 94 of Brad Kurth. So now Ricky Hendrick is slowed a little bit too, so maybe a little body damage or something. If that effect was tire smoke between those cars, maybe Hendrick has got some damage on that thing.
It looked like it was Herman's car that had the smoke coming from it, but Ricky Hendrick sure doesn't seem to be the same car he had earlier. And there's a spin. Davin Sykes turns it around. Andrew Medlin narrowly misses him, and it looks like everybody will make it by okay. I don't think Davin hurt the car, though.
No, it looks like he didn't touch anything there. Well, I tell you talk about Davin coming down from West Virginia. His family, of course, have been coming here to Concord the last couple of years. We saw him also over at Lowe's Motor Speedway with the Legends cars, so they were making a couple trips down. So a real commitment and dedication by that family, and tough break for him right there as he got spun around there in the final turn.
And you saw him stick his hand out the window there as if to say, what's up with that? He may have felt somebody wronged him to get that car turned around. 10 laps are complete. Davin Sykes comes back around in that multicolored machine, and you mentioned the West Virginia connection where he goes, and here's an interesting note here. Ricky Hendrick does indeed come into the pits, so maybe the smoke was from his car. There we see, turning it around, is Davin Sykes. He got together with the 52 of Jonathan Bellamy. Steve, you talked to him earlier, and this is his first time here.
First time ever at Concord, up from Myrtle Beach. Says he races, he's been racing 2 years in the go-karts and moved on, and just trying to get some seat time.
Looks like
maybe a shock.
Yeah, something in the suspension on the left front. It was not a tire. They haven't taken the tire off, taken the hood off so they can get down in behind the tire, behind the wheel there. So that's something wrong with that car.
10 laps complete. Kevin Love on top. We'll be back with the green flag. Less than 1 lap to go before the late model stock competitors will get the green flag, and Ricky Hendrick has been in and out of the pits. Going toward the back is Davin Sykes. He was the cause of the caution, so they'll put him toward the back. But I guess, Steve, the good news for Ricky Hendrick is he's got about 138 laps to try and get back up front.
There you go. He's got a lot of time to do it. Also, we should note Jeff Harwell pitted, made a chassis adjustment during that caution period also. So a couple of the guys going to be at the back coming towards the front.
Here's the green.
Getting a word from one of our spotters up here in the booth that the 7 car has a toe problem. It said that the tires are headed in opposite directions.
So a toe-in problem for Ricky Hendrick. Don't know if maybe that was caused with Mike Herman Jr. there in the 34. We saw some smoke around those cars as they were headed toward turn 1. Greg Peterson and Mike Herman Jr. thump a little bit coming off the last turn. And Jeff Meendering, meanwhile, takes a peek inside of Kevin Love. Right behind them is Chad Mullis. Right behind them, Mike Herman Jr. Boy, it's like old times.
It is. It's good to see Mike Herman back out here at Concord. He hasn't missed a lick. You know, every time you go talk to him, boy, he's got it down pat. He knows exactly what to say.
15, about to be 16 laps complete. Kevin Love, Jeff Meendering, Chad Mullis, Mike Herman Jr., your front 4. In 5th is Greg Peterson. 6th is Brad Kurth. 7th is the 52 of Jonathan Bellamy. 8th is Andrew Medlin in the 12. 9th is J.P. Morgan in the 1. And 10th, all the way up to 10th from dead last, is Shane Brafford. So he's coming in a hurry.
Well, Shane's currently 3rd in the points. No stranger here at Concord. He's probably the most improved driver in this division. I know we talk about that quite a bit, but Shane has really done a great job in the past season or half a season.
Boy, things, there you go. A great battle with Peterson and Kurth there, battling for 5th spot. And they've been racing this way the last 4 or 5 laps. A couple car lengths back from the 4th place car, but they have a pretty good battle going on themselves as they work through the dog leg.
And this might be the most competitive run we've seen from Greg Peterson this year. That 14 is a new ride for him. He told me he had bought it earlier in the season, but it looks like now they've gotten on top of that car and gotten it running the way Greg likes it.
It's good to see Greg back on top of his game and doing a good job out here at Concord.
Aneco Racing, Electrical Construction, that company sponsoring tonight's action here at Concord. We've got a great battle shaping up for 2nd, meanwhile, as we look at the battle for 5th. Chad Mullis is to the inside of Meendering and will take that spot away. Mike Herman Jr. will try and seize that opportunity as well.
Well, we come out here early, and I noticed Chad didn't take a lot of practice laps, and I asked his crew chief, Gary Harkin, how the car was running. He gave me a thumbs up and said, "Their car is great tonight. It's going to be strong. Keep an eye on the number 9 car." He desperately wants to win this track championship here at Concord, so he's going to give it all he's got. He's a tough competitor.
Boy, he's got his main competitor there for it. Kevin Love is the point leader. He's got him in his sights now, and now we see that Mike Herman has worked for us for Meendering too, also for the number 3 spot. So Herman, he might have taken some time off this year, but he certainly hooked up real well here and working his way to the front of the field.
Mike Herman Jr. has taken some time off. He went out and tried his hand in the Hooters Pro Cup, and I don't think he's done quite what he's expected to do. Of course, here at Concord, he's always tough. He's a good competitor, and you think, gosh, if you can win at Concord, I always tell guys, you can go anywhere and win, but he found, man, there's a lot of good competition all up and down the East Coast.
A little bit of separation beginning now among the front 4. This is the battle for 5th. Peterson has it in the 14. Brad Kurth in the 94 wants to take it away.
Kurth, they've been going now. They're on 10 to 15 laps. And it's finally Brad Kurth now looks like he's able to get the line on the inside. And Peterson still there, still has a line on the outside now. Kurth able to move up into the faster groove. Ooh, a little contact there down at the 3rd turn.
As close as he possibly could.
That's right, they were working each other over.
Now, Brad Kurth and his brother Mike ran as a team, kind of like Kevin Love and Andrew Medlin with the AAR Roofing people as sponsors there. We had them on the Let's Talk Racing program earlier, and that's a family operation as well. They sponsored a big race earlier this season.
Well, you talk about it, Woody. The things were stringing out a little bit at the front. They're closed back in now. You see you see Chad Mullis right there on the back bumper of Kevin Love, and well, I'll tell you what, this is the makings of a real good battle here.
Another thing to keep an eye on the number 9 car. Chad's car gets better in the long runs, and that's what he's famous for. He'll tell you, my car just gets better and better and better and better. He hates to see the cautions come out, so right now he's having it his way. His car is second best on the racetrack, but if it gets any better, he's really going to put on the show.
Yeah,
Boy, you almost could see their eyeballs that time as they came by.
That's for sure. Yeah, he's there now. He's worked to the low side of Kevin Love. It is right. On the long runs, he does have a better car right now as he works down. He's got that preferred inside lane. And, yep, he's got the lead.
He does indeed at lap 30. Meanwhile, going into the pit area is the 08 car of Chuck Crump, the former mini stock champion. Chuck, a rookie in this class in 1999. But here's an impressive newcomer, Steve. First appearance at the track for Jonathan Bellamy in the 52. Right behind him, another rookie, Andrew Medlin.
Well, it's two good drivers, two good race car drivers, easy to talk to, good interviews.
Man, I'll tell you, Kevin Love, he thought he had a problem before. He's got two more right now.
Yeah.
Mike Herman Jr. down on the inside, and unfortunately, doesn't look like Kevin there. He is able to get down between him and Meendering back into that third spot, but Mike Herman taking advantage of that. And Kevin it doesn't take much, but he just a tick off from what those other two cars are right now, and he's probably got a little frustration there as he started at the front of the race, and now he's back to third spot.
Well, we've seen that a lot. Kevin Love is very fast early, but as Steve mentioned, you get a lot of guys who set their cars up for longer runs. A little bit of beating and banging going on back here. Shane Bradford and Andrew Medlin. Shane Bradford, as we mentioned at the beginning, started dead last.
Medlin had a little, whether it was tire smoke or what it was, going down into the corner. They're battling for the 8th spot, and didn't see quite as much that much. There you see Davin Sykes. Davin Sykes coming from the back there. He's on the move. He looks like he's in about the 10th spot there, or racing for the 10th spot. And he was the last caution out there, so he's got a strong run going in that 44 car. And
we mentioned Shane Bradford started last. Well, right behind him, Jay Robinson of the 28. He started next to last, so he's on the move.
Boy, some great runs coming up through the pack.
Shane, Medlin's driving the car hard. I saw that tire smoke again that lap, Steve. It looks like going down in turn 1, he's really getting on it, and it's smoking the tires a little bit. And, you see it a little bit each lap. There it is again.
There it is, you're right.
That'll wear your tires out fast.
Boy,
He's them up.
Yeah, it's early to be doing that. We're in the 38th lap or approximately thereof, and he's got a long way to go to be smoking the tires like that. He's going to have a handful if he keeps that pace up.
Well, Andrew is only 18 years old, and as we mentioned, he's a rookie, and this is something that I guess all rookies have to learn, and it's part of that learning curve, and Andrew will certainly find out as he goes through his racing career when to drive the car hard and when to just hold on to what you got.
It's got to be a tough thing. You just want to go so fast, and especially when you're racing somebody as he's been here, racing a couple cars. Now he's got Davin Sykes right behind him. Yeah, I mean, just the competitor in him. He wants to just take it in that corner as hard as he can, and sometimes it is necessary to slow down to go a little bit faster later on.
There's our leader, Chad Mullis, searching for his 7th win in 1999 and hoping to gain a little more ground on Kevin Love, the points leader. Currently, Chad trails by 34. And we're winding down toward the end of the season.
Wow, Davin Sykes had it right sideways there as he worked underneath the 12 car.
Spin, turning it around is Elaine Hughes, but a little bit further up. Davin Sykes turns it around a little bit further up the track. Jonathan Bellamy was involved as well. I think he and Elaine Hughes were the first two cars involved. I don't think Elaine's car is hurt.
I think Davin saw Elaine Hughes' car spin and checked up a little bit, and when he did, he got hit in the rear end by Shane.
I don't think Davin Sykes' car is hurt either, but the 52 may have some serious damage.
Yeah, Bellamy is slow over in turn number 3. He's actually coming down the pit road now, so there he is right there. He's coming onto the pit road, and he looks like, didn't get a good look at it, but looks like he might have some damage on that car.
And indeed, he goes right behind the wall. He doesn't come down pit road. He takes that car all the way back behind the garage. There's Elaine Hughes. As we mentioned, she is leading the Legends points here at the smaller track behind Concord. 40 laps are complete, and let's see who Steve Gant found in his travels earlier today.
Thanks for the call for the guy that certainly needs no introduction here at Concord, Mike Herman Jr. Mike, what brings you back to Concord?
Well, we've really been wanting to come back a lot this year, but my Hooters broke up schedule just didn't allow it early on. And then the last Hooters broke up race here at Concord, we had some trouble with some motors and everything, so we're trying to get back running the late model, and it broke up. So plus we're trying to get back together to try to run some of these money races they got coming up here towards the end of the year. So we're really looking forward to that.
Well, Mike, you know, all the drivers say Concord's a tough racetrack. When you take off and miss a couple of months or a half a season here at Concord, do you miss anything? Do you have to come back out here and learn anything new?
Well, we've come over and tested a couple times. We've got a brand new Hitchcock car. It's really working good for us, so we've been over to test a couple times. But yes, it does. You know, even though I've got a bunch of laps here, compared to the other racetracks, it takes a few laps, you know, to get back going. But, you know, I think we're off just a little bit right now by not running very much. But I think that, you know, each time that we come, we're getting better and better.
Well, you know, it's a lot of competition here at Concord. You probably know these guys as well as I do, or better than I do. What can we look for tonight? What's the plan?
Well, I hadn't really looked around a whole lot, but competition was stiff out there in practice. We run real well, but the last race here, August 7th, I was running third and made a call to pit, which was probably a mistake to call, you know, because it took me longer to get back to the front, so guys have picked the cars up a pretty good bit, so competition's real stiff, and there's a lot of cars here today, too, so it's going to be interesting.
We know Thurman Eastern's been a good sponsor for you over the last couple of years. What about this new name on the side of the race car?
Yeah, Pete Raymer over at Carolina Truck Repair. We had a CTR night the other week, come out here for the first time. Thurman Eastern, they still behind me 100%. We just got a new relationship between the two, kind of co-sponsors just to run here at Concord. Carolina Truck Repair's got a big shop over here in the area that does a lot of stuff, so they're going to be sponsoring me every time I run here at Concord, along with today's fireplace, and they're an associate on the Hooters car, so Thurman Eastern definitely hasn't went anywhere, so we got looking for a good relationship with them coming up in the future.
Well, Mike, good to see you back at Concord. Hope we see more of you. Thanks for talking to us, and good luck tonight.
Good to see you, Steve.
Okay, Woody, back to you.
So Mike Herman Jr. has today's fireplace on the machine. That is the name change from Thurman Eastern. They are now called today's fireplace, but they are still with Mike Herman Jr. Good to see him back here at the track. Riding second is Mike Herman Jr. right now. Chad Mullis showing the way. Third is Kevin Love. Fourth is Jeff Metering, and rounding out the top five is Brad Kurth. We will stay right here for the green flag as 44 laps are complete. We also need to mention, I was talking about Elaine Hughes earlier who was in that spin. She, as I mentioned earlier, is my next door neighbor. I was talking to her, and her husband, Kevin, works for Racing Electronics, and he has to travel along with the Winston Cup circuit, the Busch cars, and so he's all over the country. He was her crew chief for much of the early part of the season, but now she has a virtual all-star cast helping her out. There's Elaine in the 29. Her crew chief is Eddie Sharp, a former ASA driver, and her spotter is Joe Knott, an ASA driver. So that is an all-star lineup, and she said they helped her out with a shock combination that had been giving them some problems and really made a difference in that car. It's a shame that spin will probably keep her from showing it, but she's a rookie, and she said, I just want to finish on the lead lap, but she'll have to get a break here to get that lap back.
Now, that's great. Eddie Sharp, he's a real character, a great driver on the ASA Tour, and Joe Knott spot. You can't ask for any better than that. And she gets a lot of lap time also with running the Legends cars, and she does a real good job in everything she does.
Before this last caution, we talked about Chad Mullis. Does not like to see cautions come out. His car gets better and better the longer it runs. We'll see what it can do now that they've run a couple of laps under caution. The tires have cooled a little bit. We'll see if Chad can pick up where he left off. So far he has.
Hey, while we've got a second here, guys, as they near the 50-lap point, we need to send out some best wishes to a couple of folks. Number one is Jerry Reary.
Yeah, Jerry was involved in a crash out here at Concord, and I think he's got a badly broken leg or foot and not doing too well. So, Jerry, man, our thoughts and prayers are with you. Hurry back out here at Concord to miss you.
Hopefully, he'll be able to get back racing soon, but I don't think it's going to be before the end of the year. Jerry evidently has some pins in that foot. We also want to pass along best wishes to Sean Mangum's mom. Sean is in the 25 cars. We look at Andrew Medlin in the 12 and Shane Bradford in the 56, but Sean Mangum in the 25, his mom Patsy has just had some surgery, and we saw on J.P. Morgan's car, he had a get well Patsy and get well as a bump is delivered there from Ricky Hendrick. A get well Patsy and a get well Jerry.
These guys are really getting at it now. You know, it's a little frustration now.
I think they're racing for about the 8th spot, which says a lot with Ricky Hendrick. He was in the pit area a couple times under that last caution, and he's looking to the low side. Actually, he was looking at the back bumper, and now he was looking at the low side of the 56 car. They're trying to find some room to get out.
Bradford in the 56 car. That was for 6th position. That right here's the race for 6th position.
Wow, 14 of Peterson has it. And the number 12 of Medlin, the rookie, is still running real strong. You know, we talked about that smoking tire. That was 20, 30 laps ago, and he keeps right on digging. So it's good. He's having a good run.
I talked to Andrew before the race, and he said the car was great. He said he's really going to put on a show tonight, and indeed he is. He's really taking that 12 car as hard as he can drive it.
Well, there's a battle for the front. Wow, look at that. Mike Herman has closed in on Chad Mullis. Maybe it is that. Maybe it is. It takes Mullis 15, 20 laps to get going. Right now, he's got a big problem there. Mike Herman, no stranger to the fast way around here at Concord.
No question about it. These guys are familiar competitors. They've raced hard against each other for a few years out here at Concord. 54 laps are complete right now as we continue rolling around the track. The leaders will come up on some lap traffic very shortly, and now Medlin turns it around, coming off turn 1, and he kept it out of the wall. I don't think the car's damaged.
Caution is out. That car, a lot of smoke coming from that right rear tire this time. I saw him. He really drove it in hard into turn 1 that time. A lot of tire smoke.
Got down on the inside of Greg Peterson. There you go. They were in the inside, and he just got it pinched down, I believe. Yeah, just kind of got it, saved it, tried to. Boy, he did a good job. Great job by the guys behind him there also as they worked their way around him.
That was Bradford right back behind him.
Bradford and Ricky Hendrick both doing a fabulous job. There we see it again. And watch those guys, the smoke. Look at Bradford especially. Wow, that was a great job.
There's the 56. And Ricky Hendrick was right back there.
They both did a great job. You don't know which way that car is going, and it's at times it's kind of like a toss of the coin, but they did a really fine job getting around them.
However, he looped that car. What about the flat spots? Is that going to affect the handling of the cars? He's going to have to come in and change those tires.
Well, I think he just lost a lap. Evidently, he couldn't get the car fired. They've come around again and passed him.
Yeah. If that being the case, then he has very little to lose by coming down and changing those tires, especially with the smoking tire they had earlier also.
Ricky Hendrick back into the pits, 57 laps complete. We'll be back with the green. Before they get the green here at the Concord Motorsport Park, Woody Kane, Steve Gant, and Steve Post along with you. And Steve Post, some more pit activity going on.
Yeah, Chuck Crump in the 08's been on pit road a couple times. Actually, there they are taking the hood off, sort of hood off the car and looking down on the front side of it.
That may be another suspension check.
Yeah, it might be another suspension check. They're looking at that. Also, further up pit road is Sean Mangrum. There he is. They've tried to change. They've got a problem on the right rear, whether it's a tire or something is just not right there. They're having a terrible time. They've been down here now, as you see, have been down here quite a while changing that right rear tire. So it might be something more than just a tire down on that car.
Yeah, maybe a wheel.
We saw Ricky Hendrick in the 7 car make his showing on pit road. I think they tweaked that car just a little bit more. If they can improve on it as much as they did the last time, we'll see that 7 car come to the front in the near future.
Well, I was going to say, as fast as he was running before the caution came out, if they make it much better, all these guys aren't going to like it very much.
Yeah, they tweaked it. They put the we saw him running without the hood on the car. They put the hood back on the car, so he's back at the tail end of the field. As we continue with this battle now, Brad Kurth looking to the low side of Meendering there through the dogleg for the 5th spot. And, boy, this race in the top 5, there's been a battle going on in the top 5 the whole race long. It's been really some great side-by-side action, and see the guys really working hard and hustling the race cars around here.
I might have seen a little smoke out of the 6 car.
You did. I saw it earlier as well, and he and Medlin teammates both having the tire smoke. 61 laps complete. Your leader continues to be Chad Mullis. Mike Herman Jr. rides second, the former champion. Kevin Love, the points leader, is third. Fourth is Jeff Meendering, and the 2. Fifth is the 94 of Brad Kurth, and here's the battle for 6th. Shane Bradford on the inside, Greg Peterson on the outside.
Yeah, Shane Bradford again started at the back of the field, and he's just steadily picking them off, working his way forward. Here he is on the inside of Peterson, trying to find some race room. Again, Peterson has that momentum on the outside, making it real tough for Bradford to work his way through, but he's going to keep down there digging. He's come from 21st starting spot, so he's having a real good run in that 56 car.
If you'll get a good look at the Shane Bradford car, the 56 car, it's decals all over. He's got sponsorships all over the race car, and when he showed up with those sponsors out here one night, we was thinking, gosh, if he wins the race, well, he'd be able to name his sponsors. And sure enough, he did.
He showed you. Yeah, we had a pool going as to whether or not he'd remember them all, and we told him about it in Victory Lane, and he said, well, who do I collect from?
There we go. That is really funny. Bradford now does make that pass for that position, so hey, the way he's going forward, we might have to see if he can match, see if he can do that again down there. He's up to the 6th spot after starting in the back.
Here's the 28 of Jay Robinson. We mentioned he started toward the back. He started 20th. Davin Seitz right behind him.
Yeah, again, Davin's been to the back twice now, and he still has a fast race car. He's been on pit road, and he spun it around one time, but he spun it around twice, I guess, actually, and he's still working his way forward, doing a real good job in that 44 car.
Jay Robinson, the 28 car, had a great qualifying lap, but they found some kind of technical problem with the race car and made him go back to the back of the field. His qualifying lap did not count, but actually he was the second fastest race car as far as qualifying tonight.
Robinson now on the inside of Peterson. Peterson not able to hold the car down as they battle for the 7th spot. Peterson, we saw that just a few minutes ago with Bradford, and now with Robinson and Davin Sykes not able to hold that car down on the inside groove, and they're working their way under him. So yeah, handling's gone away on that 14 car.
It really is, and Greg has been, it seems like, battling with somebody all night long. I don't think he's been able to run the line he wants all night.
Yeah, now he's got Greg Pope in the 63 working on him, and I think I just saw on the screen there, Ricky Hendrick actually is up there right behind him. Hendrick in that number 7 car, again from the back of the field. So some of these guys really having strong runs. If they can keep the strong runs going and don't have to go to the back, they can come out of here with a really good finish and pass a lot of cars tonight.
Speaking of strong runs, the cream is rising to the top indeed. Chad Mullis showing the way and beginning to pull away a little bit now as we have a longer run. His car seems to get better. Mike Herman Jr. is second. Third is Kevin Love, the pole sitter and points leader, and those three have broken away from everyone else.
Yeah, Mullis, you're right. We talked about those long runs. He's just starting to inch away. Mike Herman back there in second spot. There we go. Ricky Hendrick and Greg Pope racing side by side. Again, a couple of guys coming from the back of the pack. We saw Pope go to the back. They're battling for a position at 10th spot to get into the top 10. Hendrick really is fast. If they've had some suspension problems, a towing problem, as we heard reports of, they seem to have gotten that figured out because he seems to really be making some progress here with the number 7 car.
Well, you're right, Steve. He's been on pit road 3 times. Each time he's on pit road, he has to start all over from the back of the field. And if he comes out there, every time he passes a race car, every position he gains, he passes a better race car. So he's really on the move. There you see Meendering and Kurth battling for 4th place.
Yeah, Meendering started in the 2nd spot, and he's dropped back just a little bit, but he's looking fast. He's looking like he's pretty good. Kurth got a little out of shape that time coming out of the final corner, but
he's driving with his rearview mirror, I believe.
I think you're right too. I think he's there he goes. He got a little sideways again. So Kurth is they actually have made contact there.
He's got a little ding in the looks like the left rear there. Halfway signal about to be given to the drivers this time by.
Boy, I tell you, these guys are really going at it. It's great watching these guys race like this.
We were talking about Ricky Hendrick earlier. I'll give you a tip here on his situation. You mentioned if they've gotten it fixed. I think maybe they have, because earlier when he made those pit stops, they left the hood off. It's back on now, so I'm thinking they must believe they've gotten it fixed.
Well, they've gotten it as good as they can, and it's going forward. So I believe you're right. They've got that thing fixed, and he's making progress on the racetrack now, and they're probably going to try to keep him out there. We see the great battle there between the 56 of Kurth and Greg, the 28 actually for the 5th spot, as Jay Robinson. Again, Robinson, boy, real impressive. Davin Sykes, a couple of these guys started at the back of the field, and they're really working their way to the front of the pack.
Davin Sykes, as you mentioned earlier, has been to the back a couple of times. Here's Ricky Hendrick charging forward, working to the inside of Greg Peterson. Now here comes Meendering, trying to take the 4th spot away from Kurth. Boy,
Kurth got a little squirrely that time.
And it's the thing that Steve Post mentioned a while ago. Coming off that last turn, it looks like Kurth's car is giving him a fit.
Yeah, they are, he's hanging on to it. Kurth has got a whole handful of steering wheel there each and every lap, and, really the car has a lot of side-to-side motion there, and Jeff Meendering is really working him hard. He sees an opportunity maybe to get around him, and he's really working and digging on the inside. They're doing a really good job as they work through the dogleg.
And as these guys battle side by side for 4th, the front 3 are continuing to storm away.
We talk about those guys making the runs, the Davin Sykes, the Ricky Hendricks, the Jay Robinsons making the runs from the back of the pack. That's well and fine, and there we go. There's Jay Robinson right there doing a good job racing with the number 56 car. Bradford, the 2 cars, actually the 3 cars there working their way from the back of the pack. The problem of it is you got your front 2 or 3 cars that are just on cruise control at the front of the field and not wearing out their equipment and everything, and they're going to be tough once they get up to those top 2 or 3 cars.
Jeff Maynard in the 2 car finally cleared.
Yeah.
Kurth in the 94 car put the lap on Magnum, the 25 car.
And we mentioned Sean Mangum earlier making that pit stop for the problem he had on the right rear. We want to again send out get well soon wishes to his mom, Patsy. She had some surgery recently, and hopefully things are going well for her. Here comes J.P. Morgan.
Jonathan Morgan making a little noise, getting around Greg Peterson in the 14th car, making an effort to get around him. Everywhere you look around the racetrack, there's a good race going on there. You see JP again.
Yeah, I mean, this is just some great racing, and that's the beauty of coming out here to Concord and watching it here, is that you can find a good race on the racetrack at all times, and it's just great side-by-side action. Fabulous. The battle for fifth right there. Shane Bradford down on the inside. Kurth up on the high side. There we go. The 28 of Jay Robinson also in there. There you have a great example of it. For the fifth spot, you've got a tremendous three-car battle. Two of those cars, again, have come from the back of the field and really done a great job.
And Davin Seitz is just about to join that battle. You see him right behind these guys.
Yeah. Brad Kurth's going to have all kinds of company here if this thing goes like it is right now.
Interestingly enough, up front, the front two cars have begun now to pull away from Kevin Love, and they're trying to put another lap on Andrew Medlin, but these two have started to pull away. We've got a car into the wall. Looks like Brad Kurth is into the wall hard.
Boy, we talked about it being squirrely coming off the 4 all night long. He finally found it.
Boy, running up there in the top 5, he had a good run going.
He hit it hard, too. That car is flattened on the right side.
Don't see him moving around in there yet. Let's take a look at it again and see if we can detect what happened. 86 laps are complete, and this will give some of those guys who were pretty quick a chance to catch up to the leaders. But there you see Mullis trying to work on Medlin, and Kurth will slide in here. Boy, that may be a tire.
Just went straight into the wall.
Yeah, it wasn't. We saw the rear end moving back and forth on some of the other laps, but that was going nose first to the wall. I think a right front tire went down or some right front problems anyhow.
And we still don't see him moving around very much in there, if at all. And hopefully he's going to be okay and able to climb out of the car. Okay, there we go.
On the left side of the car.
All right. While they assist Kurth from the machine, let's check in again with Steve Gant from his adventures earlier today.
Thanks again, Whitaker, with Davin Seitz all the way from West Virginia. Davin, last time I talked to you, you had just won a race, and we did an interview, and of course it rained that night. But so we come back and do it again. You know, you all the way from West Virginia, the night you won the race, they tore down the race car. I believe you said it was 4 o'clock in the morning before you ever got out of here.
Yeah, it was late, but it was our first win, and we had something to prove, I guess. They all thought we was cheating, but we can run legal and run with these boys, so they're all tough. These cars are equal, so it's who's going to hit the setup and be fast that night. That's the main key.
Hey, you'd stay here at 4 o'clock again if you got another win, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah, we'll stick it out. On good nights, it makes the ride home a lot shorter than what it is.
Well, Davin, that's a long way to haul a race car. Why Concord?
There's no NASCAR sanctioned tracks in West Virginia, mostly dirt. And to really get noticed, you know, you got to get down here and run with the guys that are fast. And you got Kevin Love, Mike Herman, Ricky Hendricks. I mean, you come and run with them guys, and they'll teach you something. You got to be fast.
Well, speaking of teaching you something, do you learn something every time you get out on Concord Speedway and race? Do you learn something?
Every time I go to a different track, I learn something new. Every time.
Well, obviously you've learned a lot. You sat on the pole twice. I know you won one time, so that's not a bad year.
No, not bad at all. We're getting there. That's what I said. We're learning each week. I still ain't got it all figured out coming out of legend cars. It's a big change, but I'm getting there, I hope.
And I failed to mention you're currently 4th in the points, so a lot of people would like to be where you're at.
And points we only got one car, one motor, so the points are kind of hard for us to keep up with. So we're basically just trying to make a good show and run good. Who knows? Maybe we'll go to the points next year, you know?
There you go. Well, thanks for talking to us. We'll let you get back to work. Good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Woody, back to you.
Well, for a guy who's not running for points, Davin must be doing something right. He's currently 4th in the points. He's running 6th on the track. And with 90 laps complete, let's check another angle, guys, and see if we can figure out what this problem was with the Kurth machine. Here he is. That's got to be a tire.
Yeah, it looked like the front end even sat down a little bit further, yeah.
Sure did. Steve posts a lot of activity on pit road while this is going on as well.
Boy, we've been real busy. Actually, we'll start off with something Jay Robinson installed out on the racetrack in the 28 car. He's got it going again. The 11 of John Thornton had pitted. Also, Chuck Crump in the 08 had pit. Look at the front end damage on that. Boy, I'll tell you, some serious, expensive damage, too, unfortunately. That's a costly one. We did see Brad actually climb out of the car and walk across the track. That's the real good news and far more important than what we're seeing there in the record. Also, the number 12 of Andrew Medlin pitted. We saw the tire smoke. We've been talking about that. And actually, he's on pit road again. The crew was pulling the body off from the tire on the right rear of that car. So Medlin back on pit road. The 28 of Robinson again. Greg Peterson made a pit stop also to do a chassis adjustment.
All right, 91 laps are complete. Chad Mullis Mike Herman Jr. and Kevin Love, your top three. Well, after starting 20th, working his way strongly into the top 10, looks like the night is over for Jay Robinson.
You know, Jay had a good car all night. We mentioned earlier he did qualify second fastest qualifier, but for some reason disqualified. His qualifying effort did not count. He had to start at the end of the pack, but he did have a good race car all night, and he proved it all night. Unfortunately, something's broke. He's pushing it behind pit wall. His day is done.
By our very unofficial eyeball statistical rundown here, we've got 9 cars on the lead lap, led by Chad Mullis, Mike Herman Jr., Kevin Love, Jeff Meendering, and Shane Bradford in the top 5. Then Davin Seitz is 6th, Ricky Hendrick is 7th, Greg Pope is 8th, J.P. Morgan is 8th, and 9th appears to be Greg Peterson right now, but he's got a lot of lap cars between himself and that front group.
Earlier, when we had a caution come out, it took Chad Mullis about 10 or 12, maybe 15 laps to get back up to speed or for his tires to come back to him. Let's see if that's the case now. He does not like to see cautions come out. He's told me that numerous times.
As you see Bradford working to the inside of Meendering, trying to take that 4th spot away. We're getting a report now that the problem on the Jay Robinson car was a rear gear.
Boy, that battle, here we go. Mike Herman gets to the low side. Looks like they touched a little bit.
And Mike Herman Jr., the defending champion in this series, in one of his handful of races he plans to make at Concord, takes the lead away at lap 98.
Looked to me like Chad's car was a little loose, a little squirrely. He sure was weaving it back and forth all the way around the racetrack that time. Maybe he just got out of his line, got out of his groove, and didn't like where he was at.
Well, it's what we've talked about all race long. It seems like Chad's car comes to him on the long runs.
Yeah, exactly. I think Steve called that one, and that's what's put him in second now. This battle for 4th spot is really good. Bradford and Meendering are racing down into the 3rd turn, and they're side by side. Boy, they are just really duking it out there. It's fabulous.
And again, that's 2 more good cars. We've seen Meendering challenging Kevin Love for the lead earlier in the race when Kevin was sitting on the pole and got a good start. Jeff was challenging him for about the first 25, 30 laps for that position.
50 laps to go. Mike Herman Jr. on top. Now 49 to go as they cross this time. Chad Mullis rides 2nd. 3rd, Kevin Love, the pole sitter. Here's the battle for 4th. Shane Bradford in the 56. Meendering in the 2 on the outside. Right behind them is Davin Seitz. And it's about 5 or 6 car lengths back to the 7 of Ricky Hendrick. Then a couple of more car lengths back to the 63 of Greg Pope. Then about a dozen car lengths back to the 8th place car of Morgan, the Pennzoil machine. Then several cars. Oh, J.P. Morgan's got a problem. The 1 car was running in 8th, and now he's very slow. He's going to go on the pit road, I believe. He just really slowed down all of a sudden.
Something just broke. Perhaps it's a flat tire. Who knows? He's got some problems. Never did see any smoke come out of the race car.
Let's see. It looks like the right front may be kind of low, but it's hard to tell from this angle.
Staying out on pit road, so he's...
No, they're going under the hood.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
And there's some more of that pulling and yanking we've become so familiar with. 105 laps complete now. Well, that's a shame, and that will leave only 8 cars on the lead lap.
We're from 1st to 8th positions, only 3.19 seconds. Right there is just an idea of what kind of competition we have out here at Concord.
Boy, this battle for 4th had settled down momentarily there. Meendering had wrestled the spot back, but Bradford just not happy back there in 5th spot. He just is not accepting that, and he's working to the low side. And there you go, Davin Seitz right there again, and Ricky Hendrick. Again, all of these guys, the 3 cars there behind Meendering, all have worked their way from the back of the pack and really doing a fantastic job.
They are indeed about to be 107 laps complete in this race, as the cars continuing to circulate around here at Concord, and that battle just will not die.
It will not go away. Shane Bradford is driving his heart out. Jeff Meendering is driving his heart out. These guys are racing good, hard, and clean. That's what we like to see here at Concord.
Boy, you got to wonder how long those guys can race this hard and not have the tires start to go away.
Well, you see they're racing really hard, but you see they're also losing touch with Kevin Love in front of them, and that's the downside of it. Yeah, but you can't tell them to get in line. You know, I mean, I'm not going to accept that 2nd spot in line. I'm going to try to pass you. This battle here, Mike Herman, and what Steve has been talking about throughout the day, looks like the number 9 of Chad Mullis seems to be reeling him back in.
Well, it takes him about 15 or 20 laps, perhaps, to really get the car up to song. But when he does, boy, he's hard to beat. He's closing in ever so slightly on Mike Herman Jr. in the 34 car. We see him pushing the number 1 car of J.P. Morgan behind the wall. His day is done. He's Well, he raced hard while he was running, but not to be tonight.
Oh, and that's a shame. We've talked to JP for, what, 3 straight races now and can't quite seem to get his interview in. We got rained out, and the Gant jinx is alive and well.
Don't go there.
I've heard about the Gant.
Oh, it's the truth, I'm telling you. He's like the cover of Sports Illustrated on 2 feet. Drivers see him and walk the other way.
Right now, Mike Herman Jr. is proving you wrong.
Well, now you've done it.
Yeah.
He's still got a ways to go here yet. 112 laps about to be put in the books, but I think you're right, Steve. It looks like Mullis is beginning to reel Herman Jr. back in.
I think we've got about 38 laps remaining. I think this is going to get real interesting if this stays green, because I think you're going to have the faster car in the second spot by the time we get another 10 to 15 laps on these cars, and it's going to be real interesting.
As we were talking about that, we got a clock on these guys. They're 0.3 of a second apart when we got the clock on it, but that's not now. It's going away. It's bumper to bumper right now. He's in there.
Indeed, and it's something we've been talking about all season long with Chad Mullis. All of a sudden, Meendering, there's a problem with the 2-car. Meendering was running 4th, and now he's headed for pit road. Jeff Meendering had been running in the top 5 all night long, and yet another top competitor goes on pit road.
Attrition really taking hold here.
And they'll go under the hood.
Wow, tough break for Jeff.
Oh, Jeff was having a good race, a good show tonight.
This may drive Danny Boss to more food.
Oh, man.
Woody said that.
Yeah, but only because Steve told me to. I'm just getting in the spirit of things here. Back up front, Mike Herman Jr. has his hands full with Chad Mullis, and the front 2 have pulled away from Kevin Love.
But if these guys happen to get side by side to start racing, don't overlook Kevin Love. Kevin Love, well, it's a little bit of distance back to Kevin, but not that much.
And we've got a great battle shaping up here for the 5th spot between Bradford in the 56 and Seitz in the 44. There's a little bit of contact beginning to develop among these 2 guys.
Seems like Bradford has been in a race all night long for position.
He's had a rough go. Jeff Meendering taking it back behind the wall. That's a tough break for him and the number 2 car.
Little contact there, and Chad Mullis went up and bumped Herman Jr. Said, I'm here.
Well, Chad is, 34 points behind Kevin Love. He needs to finish more than 1 spot ahead of Kevin if he's going to win a championship. Here's Davin Seitz taking the 5th spot away.
Yeah, Seitz finally has gotten down there on the inside of Bradford, and it seems to have track position, but again, Bradford, you see him strong going down the turn on the outside, but not going to have enough as Seitz takes away that spot.
Or check that. That's the 4th spot now that Davin Seitz takes away, and he's been in the back, at least twice?
Twice, yeah. He's been... Wow, the contact between your leaders right there. Mike Herman is leading the race. Chad Mullis is second. The beauty of this thing is you got a lot of experience and a lot of trips to victory lane here. And the beauty of this is right now both of them want to do it again tonight. And both of them aren't going to be able to do it. So it's
Chad wants it more than Mike Herman Jr. Mike Herman Jr. wants to prove, hey, I can be gone and come back and still win here at Concord. Chad wants the points. He wants to win a track championship in the 99 season.
Yep.
I don't know which one wants it. Whoever's the hungriest is going to win this race.
I think you're right, Steve. I think you're right.
This time by 28 laps will remain this 150-lap Pepsi-Cola Cup late model stock division race. And coming up a little later this season, Steve, if you think this is something, have we got news for you in October?
Oh, in the month of October. It's called Oktoberfest. It's a Triple Crown series for these late model stock cars that you're watching right now. On the first weekend in October the 2nd, they're going to run a 100-lap late model stock feature, and the winner gets $2,000. Then the very next week, on October the 9th, these same cars will run a 150-lap main event, and it's going to be double points that particular night. Then coming back on October...
And the winner will get $5,000.
Yeah, I failed to mention the money. Then coming back for the 3rd race in this series, it's a 200-lap main event. The winner will get $15,000. That'll be on October 23rd, the 200-lap main event. 50-lap main event, and it's going to be double points that particular night. Then coming back on October...
And the winner will get $5,000.
Yeah, I failed to mention the money. Then coming back for the 3rd race in this series, it's a 200-lap main event. The winner will get $15,000. That'll be on October 23rd, the 200-lap main event. The winner to get $15,000, and if somebody wins either the 1st or 2nd race, comes back and wins the 3rd race, it's an additional $50,000 bonus. Now, you talk about some hard racing, some bumping and grinding. these guys are really put on a show for $50,000.
And in that race, it pays $1,000 just to start. And for a late model show, that's a ton of money.
That's going to be fabulous. That's Oktoberfest, man.
Oktoberfest. What a show that's going to be, the whole month of October.
3 big races. Call 782-4221 to talk to the folks here at Concord to make your plans, or check out their website at www.concordspeedway.com. Leaders coming up on some lap traffic now with 126 laps complete. Andrew Medlin there in the 12 and Elaine Hughes in the 29.
Yeah, and very well could be they're racing for position there. Those two cars might be, and so going to be tricky watching this. The one thing is we mentioned here just momentarily ago that they have a lot of experience, your lead two cars, and there we go. They actually have gotten the outside lane there in pretty good shape.
The 17 of Jeff Harwell takes that machine behind the wall, so yet another driver has called it a night.
Well, you've seen some good sportsmanship right there. You were talking about Elaine Hughes and Andrew Medlin in the 12 car. They both kind of moved over to the low side of the racetrack and let you two leaders pass.
And guys, I hate to throw a wrench into things, but I believe Kevin Love is gaining on the leaders.
There we go, yeah.
Well, I've kind of been keeping an eye on Kevin Love in the 6 car. It seems like he's really using up some tires. There's a lot of smoke coming out of his right rear tire every time he goes into turn 1 down there. So that tire has got to be getting worn. There you see the 6 car putting a lap on Elaine Hughes.
Some of that may have been as the leaders got tangled up with the lap cars, but I think Kevin is getting a little bit better.
These two cars, if you'll watch them close, have got the identical setup. They're both really rubbing that right rear tire when they put it down there in turn 1.
And Steve Post, you mentioned earlier that Andrew Medlin, his crew was trying to pull some metal away.
Yeah, they were on a pit stop there. They were actually just picking the car up, the right rear of the car up, pulling it off from the tire. So still not able to get that accomplished as it's smoking about every time down into the first turn.
We've got 7 cars behind the wall. It's 14 cars left on the racetrack, so 1/3 of the cars have had some kind of mechanical problem that got caught up in a wreck. They've called it a night.
And we've only got 7 cars on the lead lap. Here's Davin Seitz working around that lap traffic. He's currently in the 4th spot. Shane Bradford rides 5th. Ricky Hendrick is 6th. 7th is the Greg Pope car. Check that. We've got 8 cars in the lead lap. Greg Peterson is the last car on the lead lap in the 14 machine. He rides 8th, but the leaders may catch him before this one's done.
Is Chad Mullis got a problem? Chad Mullis?
He does. It's a tire problem, it looks like. Boy, he narrowly kept it out of the wall.
Caution is out.
Wow, tough break there.
What it is, look, the right front is scraping the track. I think he had a tire go down.
Tough not only just for running second, but that points battle that we've been talking about also. You definitely a right front flat tire. And,
that's a shame. You hate to see that for Chad. He had been so strong and had finally reeled Mike Herman Jr. in, and boy, a great job to keep that out of the wall.
Sure did. You know, we saw Michael Crow do the same thing a while ago, or not Michael, but his brother Brad did the same thing a while ago, yeah, and he hit the wall a ton. Boy, Mullis did a good job keeping it off the wall.
All right, 135 laps complete, and let's check in again with Steve Gann from earlier today.
Thanks again, Willie Koppel, newcomer here at Concord, Jonathan Bellamy, all the way from Myrtle Beach. What brings you to Concord, Jonathan?
This is just where all the racing's supposed to be happening. I hope that we can run good here and really show off our talent.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of race cars here. It's tough competition, tough racetrack. How did you find the racetrack so far?
It's a lot of fun to drive. It's real fast, and any race car driver likes to go faster. It's a lot of fun to drive. It's pretty hard to get around.
You know, racing at the Myrtle Beach area, there's a few guys here that you probably know from Myrtle Beach. Any of them you go to and ask them the secret to getting around at Concord?
Yeah, Chad Mullis, he's come to the beach, and I've talked to him a good bit. He's helped us out a lot. Phil Ellis from Myrtle Beach has raced up here a bunch, and we sponsored his race car, and I grew up watching Phil, so he's helped me a bunch.
Yeah, we grew up watching Phil, too. Phil raced here at Concord for years and years and years. We miss him, and it's interesting you brought up his name. So when you're not racing at Myrtle Beach, are you on a touring series, or where else do you race?
Nah, we just race these late model stock cars, and hopefully next year we'll go to some touring series and maybe get all pro rides.
Jonathan, like we said, it's a tough racetrack, a lot of good competition out there. How's your car running?
It's pretty good. We're trying a couple different things and hadn't got everything to work just like we want, but we're getting there.
The first time ever here at Concord, what can we expect, or what's your expectations?
I think with a long race, our car runs better in the long races, and we could come out here with top 5, and we'll be happy.
Well, I've seen you when you climbed out of your race car on the dash. You got a big billboard that says "Be patient." That's definitely the case here at Concord.
Yeah, that's about everywhere I go. That's my problem. We hadn't hit our qualifying setup just right, and have to come and at Myrtle Beach we have to pass a bunch of race cars, and we that's what they keep telling me. I get real excited in the car, and they keep telling me look at that dash.
Well, Jonathan, welcome to Concord. Thanks for talking to us, and good luck tonight.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, Woody, back to you.
So Jonathan Bellamy qualified 10th, ran in the top 5 earlier tonight, but was involved in a wreck and did not complete the race. 137 laps complete. Mike Herman Jr., Kevin Love, and Davin Seitz, your top 3. But the news is not quite so bad for Chad Mullis.
Yeah, Chad came down pit road the first time. He was well behind the leaders as far as that goes. The crew actually had to get on the right side of the car and pick it up, and so they could get the jack under it. They got the tire change. I believe they came down a second time just to see what the damage was. They didn't have any time after the first time as the pace car was right on them, and they came down for the second time, and now Chad, actually there you see him back there real quickly as he's got to work his way to the front again.
But he did stay on the lead lap, and here's a great battle for second.
Well, you know, Chad staying on the lead lap is very important to him in the points battle. He's currently second in points, 34 behind. We've mentioned it all night. He did not want to lose a lap and fall back another 10 or 12 points to Kevin Love.
Yeah, Kevin,
go ahead.
Kevin had been sitting there in the third spot, but now Davin Seitz and Bradford are really giving him a lot of pressure there. So and he could move backwards a little bit, and Chad's slowly working his way forward. So he might not be as bad for Chad Mullis as it was a couple of minutes ago.
I'll tell you something, guys. If Davin Seitz can get by Kevin Love here shortly, look out. He might be the fastest car on the track.
Well, he's got a good race car. It looked like he was a little squirrely coming off of turn 4 that time, but I believe that was just a matter of driving in real hard, just trying to make the pass.
I think you're right, but he has been just charging through the pack all night long. And it's like, Bradford, I thought, you can't be serious. Is he going to try that? But he didn't.
Looked like a dirt track move. He had that car sideways.
That was great.
I thought he was going to try to get underneath Davin Seitz there for a moment, but thought better of it and felt like he would do better to bring the car home in one piece.
You know, it seems like we've talked about it 100 times tonight. Every time we've mentioned Shane Bradford in that 56 car, he's in a tight race with somebody for a position on the racetrack. Right now, Davin Seitz is really coming to the front. He's third place, and I know he's got his eyes set on second, and if he gets to second, he'll have his eyes set on first place.
This time by 5 laps to go. Mike Herman Jr. trying to hold off Kevin Love, Davin Seitz, and Shane Bradford as we get down to the end. Chad Mullis had the tire problem earlier after running second. He led much of the event, and that will be a big disadvantage to him in the points battle as he tries to catch up to Kevin Love. Kevin might be gaining a little bit now, Steve.
Well, he's been consistent all night long. You know, he's run his line all night long. We talked about his tire smoke, but he is gaining. He's about 2, maybe 3 car lengths behind Mike Herman Jr. And if he's got anything at all, we'll see it over the next couple of laps. With only 3 laps to go, he's really turning the wick up. He would love to win.
He is gaining, and you wonder if Mike Herman Jr. has any more left in the car, or if he's just taking it easy until Kevin gets there. You wouldn't think he'd be taking it easy at this point in the race.
We've never seen Mike Herman Jr. take it easy. But he's there. He's really coming. 2 laps to go. He's closed it to about 1 car length.
Boy, he came out of nowhere. I mean, he was probably 10 car lengths back just a few laps ago and has really turned it up a couple of notches and gained a bunch of track position here as we get the white flag. 1 to go. Kevin Love, the points leader, won his 15th pole to start this race, got shuffled back behind Herman Jr. and Chad Mullis, and has now fought his way back up to the rear deck of the leader as they enter the last turn. White flag is in the air. Checkered flag will come out this time. Mike Herman Jr., the defending champion, wins again in this series and only his 2nd appearance at Concord in the 1999 season. What a show. 150 laps in the books in the late model stock division. Steve Post will move trackside to talk with our winner next.
Well, Woody and Steve, we got a lot of happy faces down here. Mike Herman pulling into victory lane. No stranger to victory lane, although the first time in this season. And we're going to jump over here. Well, I'll say a happy crew. Mike, congratulations. What a great run.
I tell you, it's been a long time. It's been about a year since we won a race, and we've been working real hard. We got a hand to these guys in the shop, and everybody's working hard every day, all day long, and everything hadn't gone exactly as we wanted to this year, but we got a new Hedgecock car. This thing really, it put us up front tonight. We, was a little off the other week, but tonight she was right, and, I was a little conservative at the end. I probably shouldn't have. Kevin was going to give me a run, and he was coming hard, but I was just glad to come out here and win a race.
Well, we saw the battle at the end there. Talk about your race in the mid-stages with Chad Mullis.
I love it racing with Chad. I miss racing with these guys every week. And Chad, we race each other hard. I mean, harder than anybody else that we ever race. He races me that way, I races him that way, and I just love it. I knew at that point in the race I wanted to get by him because I felt like we had a better car on long runs, and tonight this race played into my hands with the longer runs and everything, so it was just an exciting race all the way around.
We know there's some people you want to thank for getting you here.
Exactly. You know, these people are stuck by me. Like you said, it's been a trying year. We hadn't raced in about 2 months till the other week, but Carolina Truck Repair come on board as sponsors here at Concord, and always today's Fireplace Fulfillment Eastern. They've stuck behind me since 1995. You know, we're looking forward to next year. We're already in a rebuilding year, but before we start rebuilding, we want to come over here and try to win some money in October.
Absolutely, and that is the game plan to be out here in October?
I'll be here. Unfortunately, we jumped off the Hooters Pro Cup Tour because of the motor problem, so we'll be here for all the money races, for sure.
Well, I'll tell you what. No, hold on one second. Mike's got one more thing.
For Kimberly, they're going to have a big birthday this weekend, and my little cousin Daniel, he's been with me. His birthday's next week. I want to appreciate him for sticking by me.
Absolutely. What a way to celebrate the birthday right here in Victory Lane. Congratulations to Mike. And the good news is he's in Victory Lane. The bad news for everyone else is he's going to be here in the month of October, so going to be real exciting here at Concord.
Good to see a smile on Mike Herman Jr.'s face. As he mentioned, he's had a trying year in the Hooters Pro Cup Series, and he will be back, and he will be a threat in those big money races Steve Gant was telling you about a little while ago. We'll take a break, come back, and meet the starting lineup for the 30-lap truck division race right after this.